Yeah, my wonderful people, good morning to you all. Happy New Week, happy Monday. Let this Monday and let this new week be a blessing to each and every one of us listening to my voice this Monday morning. Before we proceed with other toko where they follow the news, make on hear this breaking line. Nnamdi Kanu and IPOB don't reply this fool at 40, I be 70 years old man, where no one respect himself. Anybody that want to trend now must use either Nnamdi Kanu name or P2B. I swear to God, my dear, your post and everything about it must surely trend. It must surely get attention. That is exactly what this man is doing. You want to bring Nnamdi Kanu down. You want to bring down the whole entire Southeast and Biafra land simply because you are looking for an appointment. What a hungry man you are. Okay, listen to this breaking news. Nnamdi Kanu, you are a frustrated criminal, economic saboteur. MASSOB and Nnamdi Kanu roast ASARI DOKUBO over his comment on the freedom and release of Nnamdi Kanu from the dungeon called DSS solitary confinement. So my wonderful people, my viewers and subscribers, the lovers of freedom and the lovers of Biafran freedom and the Biafran struggle. Namio Mwemo Amandianese speaking from the platform of Okute Daily Talk, bringing to us this early Monday morning news. Please, if you never subscribe to my channel, this is the right time for you to do that. Make sure you are sharing any of my content, liking and commenting. All the very, very important and very, very necessary. So without not taking much of our time, your time, our time, and their time, let us go straight to the reason why we are here this morning. Please tighten your seatbelt because this Monday, a lot of people, I'm going to totalize a lot of people. And if in my previous news I offended you, please forgive me because I know say I will surely offend people. It seems like I will leave this news safe and be doing mock news just like a Parara mock news. But whichever way it is, what they call it, akaraka wakaraka, and your job, now your job, you cannot leave it and go and do another. Have a nice day, my wonderful people. Let us move on. The movement for the actualization of the sovereign state of Biafra, MASSOB, has described former militant leader ASARI DOKUBO, the 70 years old man who, as a frustrated criminal and economic saboteur, who should be ashamed of himself. The pains that ASARI and his militants have caused the people of Niger Delta, even up to tomorrow, I don't think that this man have every right to step into that Asarok. But if I may ask, this Asarok turned to a football ground? He turned to a stadium or a beer parlor whereby any Dick and Harry will just walk in there and walk out. I don't understand. How can President Tinubu of all people be entertaining somebody like ASARI DOKUBO in Asarok? What is he going there to do? To advise him or what? I don't understand. Or simply because he cried out on some weeks ago on how they rig election for him in his own area. That is why he's being summoned to Asarok to collect either his own appointment or his own share of the national cake. I don't understand what is happening with this country. Have Nigeria gone down to the level of being a banana republic that every Tom and Jerry will be walking inside our Asarok? I mean, how can somebody like ASARI DOKUBO, if he happens to be a US citizen or UK, going to the White House, the parliament, to go and do what? As big as ASARI DOKUBO is, ASARI DOKUBO self will not even near the gate saying he want to go and see the King Charles III of UK. But look at him going into the Asarok, the extent of even granting interview. Even the APC, the PDP, all where he belongs, even his own people have rejected him based on the comments he made in Asarok. Maybe this is his first time of entering there, so he feel like, oh, he's top of the world. He forgot what he's supposed to do and be doing another different thing, which is not good. MASSOB was reacting to DOKUBO's call that President Bola Ahmed Tinubu should not be released. The leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, Nnamdi Kanu, recalled that DOKUBO has asserted while speaking to the State House correspondents on Friday that freeing Nnamdi Kanu will be equivalent to endorsing criminal behavior. From Asaroko, that is where he's making this broadcast. And the entire world are watching and listening. Wahala, Otiboju. He contended that Kanu should be held accountable to the law. DOKUBO said his release will fuel impunity during exile. Nnamdi Kanu was walking free. What did he do? He poured petrol on the flames of NSAS. Now he has been caught. What of the people who died on the process? This is criminal. This is a criminal according to ASARI DOKUBO. He should face the law. Nobody is disputing the fact. Whatever that Nnamdi Kanu did is between him and his God and the Nigerian government. You have no right to comment. Imagine a criminal advising another person against criminality. It is not. Can never. Reacting, the leader of the MASSOB, Uchenna Mado, wondered how a man with the illegal possession of general purpose machine guns and hundreds of AK-47s called Nnamdi Kanu a criminal. That is the point. And our country has been a country whereby a criminal in the office, we call another person to be arrested because of that person committed one crime or the other, whereby they are all in the calculus of this criminality of 18 or criminology. According to Mado, ASARI DOKUBO should be ashamed of himself for biting the finger that fed him by selling his conscience as an object of cheap sabotage against the collective interest of the Eastern region in order to get relevance from the federal government. He fought against and killed her hundreds of military and other security agents in Nigeria when he was the head of the militants. Yet that same person has turned back now to become the saint of all in the government of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu. ASARI DOKUBO is the criminal, not Nnamdi Kanu. How can a man with illegal possession of general purpose machines, guns and hundreds of AK-47 call a man without a catapult a criminal? MASSOB wishes to remind ASARI DOKUBO how himself and his militant criminal boys destroy and vandalize the petroleum pipelines in the name of self-determination agitation for the IPOB people. When he was settled, when Gadabos go past his hand, he have no option than to do what, than to give up, because he never ever have the interest of his own people at heart while doing that agitation. That is exactly what happens during the time of ASARI DOKUBO. ASARI DOKUBO asking Tinubu not to release Nnamdi Kanu is a direct exposure of the real criminal who should be ignored. But the question there is, in the first place, who grants him that interview, and why should ASARI DOKUBO be going to Aso Rock? To do what? Aso Rock now have turned to a banana republic or a beer parlor whereby anybody can walk in and walk out. Now, wow. Nnamdi Kanu is not a criminal or an inconsequential saboteur like the Muslim perpetual slave called ASARI DOKUBO. This one is IPOB. And Nnamdi Kanu replying the so-called 70-year-old man, where he name be ASARI Mujia Bale Abi Kilompe DOKUBO. You are foolishly playing a script of others. Soyinka child obedience. He don't come back again because this man, he have turned to a politician. He want to completely sow the remaining integrity that he have. After calling the obedient fascist in May, he came back again in June on launching his book, or what is being called, and also repeat that same word. Well, only you know what you are looking for, the obedience. We cannot say. Popular Nobel laureate Professor Wole Soyinka has chided the obedient movement supporters of P2B of the Labour Party over their role in the recently concluded 2023 general election. Politics Nigeria reports Wole Soyinka speaking at the launch of his book, The Putin Files, Executions around the ideology of pain on Friday, maintained that the obedience were fascist for one more time. Responding to a lawyer and poet Ogaga's Ifowodo's question about why he called obedient fascist, he used the 2020 NSAS protest as an example of a struggle driven by pure truth. According to him, NSAS is one of the most successful movements in this country. Soyinka noted that they supported the NSAS protest and even addressed some protesters when leaving Lagos for Abeokuta, the Ogun State capital. Comparing the NSAS protest with the obedient movement, Soyinka pointed out that what the obedients were trying to do was the mobilization of youth to defend an untruth. Soyinka likened the most actions of the obedient movement to former President Muhammadu Buhari pushing people to kill innocent serving members of the National Youth Service Corps, NYSC, by claiming he was cheated out of an election. He said long before the election, some people had succumbed to tilt the country towards having an interim government. So some of those who thought they were being radical, they were being mumu, foolish, and playing a script of others. Soyinka declared. Recall that obedience criticized Soyinka in May after describing them as fascist. You are entertaining Nigerians at the tribunal, according to Pastor Giwa. What he told P2B, he said P2B is an entertainer at the tribunal. I don't know what he meant, but let us see how and why he made that comment. Senior pastor of awaiting the second coming of Jesus Christ ministry. Voila, no they finish. We're gonna see names. Criminals, all in the name of pastors or man of God or men of God. Adewale Giwa has all the presidential candidate of the Labour Party P2B to find something else to do instead of waiting for justice at the Election Petition Tribunal. On Sunday, Giwa said while addressing his members in Akure that Obi was only entertaining Nigerians. Let me ask you, what is the comparison? What is the relationship between your Sunday service and P2B's court case in Abuja? I don't understand. I've said this before and I have to repeat myself that any man of God, you are an entrepreneur, what do they call it? Election analyst, economist, or whatever. Social media influencer, if you don't mention the name of MNK or Igbos or P2B, your trend or even your church cannot grow. That's exactly what this man is doing. In Ondo State, what is the difference? What is the relationship between your church service and P2B? That is the simple question. Yeah. Now, wow. On Sunday, Giwa said while addressing his members in Akure that Obi was only entertaining Nigerians. He leave the sermon, leave the souls they want you to win for God, according to what people claimed, and you leave it there, went into politics and castigating P2B that is even far away from you. That his hometown is far away in Anambra State, and the case is in Abuja, and you are in Ondo State, castigating him. Here, someone have finished in the church. Nothing again to say. And I'm very sure that is the head of your sermon. After that, again, people will contribute for you and your family, and they will go back home hungry. This life, no balance. He said, I knew he couldn't have gone too far. No popularity on social media can stand the test of time. When it is not your time, it is not your time. He betrayed his boss, Atiku, who brought him into the limelight. If you love Nigerians so much, as I proclaimed, why didn't you wait in your political party to fight the battle? Suddenly, he changed and pretended that you were not part of the system that led us to where we are today. So what is your point? Are you supporting the current government, the past government, or you are supporting a new government? I don't understand where you stand. I have said it and I still repeat myself. You want to use Obi to trend. You are trending now, your church now will blossom because of the comment you made concerning Obi and his movement. Continue. God can't stomach arrogance, pretense, and betrayal. According to Proverbs 16:5, the Lord says he will put those upstairs in their place. We know all the politicians, we will hold them responsible should anything go wrong in Nigeria. You never hold anyone responsible. You only come to castigate P2B. You only come to castigate P2B, but your own brother, Bola Ahmed Tinubu, sold rat poison or otapiapia wey be Buhari to us. And he messed up the whole country. He came back now. Maybe people will be clapping at him now. Oh, he's doing a work. He come here to correct the mistake their party and the person he sold to us made in the last 8 years. Which he couldn't correct him while in office. He wants to use that opportunity to be a better man. That is exactly the point. You mess up the situation and come back to correct the situation, and people will be clapping at you. Even if Bola Ahmed Tinubu turn Nigeria upside down and Nigeria will be like Singapore, I myself, Okute, can never clap for him. Because the country was moving smoothly, despite the fact that everything is not okay. But at least people are enjoying their security. The food inflation is not too high. The exchange rate is just $1 to 197 or 200 naira. Then 2015. He came out and tell us that nobody should vote PDP, even to the extent of insulting OBJ, that OBJ is this and that, is something that has spoiled. What do you need to do? He throw it into those bin. That you need to throw OBJ and the PDP into those bin. And they try everything humanly possible to make sure that they lead the election of 2015. Which brought in Buhari, and Buhari messed up the whole situation. How much did he make? Debt of 12 trillion. He threatened it up to 77 trillion. So now, If Asuwaju come and do something now, people will be clapping. Oh, a sign of a good leader, a sign of a bad leader, and this and that. Why the person you sold to us for the past 8 years, you couldn't even call him to order and tell him, look at what to do? That you have this idea as a elder statesman, as somebody who is vying for that same position. You came back on your own and do the same thing that happened 2015, and everybody was clapping. For me, I can never clap. And just wasting time, his time entertaining Nigerians. Don't forget that I told you that the last presidential election was between the two old men I described as thieves. I said the better one would eventually lead the country. Who is the better one? Hey, nobody is the better one, because one man has been a ruler of Lagos State since 1999 up to date, and nothing is moving. The only thing we had is that Lagos State is now generating a lot of revenue. The where its revenue goes is nobody, even the Lagosians, don't dare to ask questions. But when you dare to ask questions, you will dare with your own life. In Nigeria, there is freedom of speech, but freedom after speech is not guaranteed. What a word. We are moving forward. Let us continue. When I also told you that Obi was a social media presidential candidate, his people abused me because they didn't want to listen to the truth. They held a series of meetings with their pastors who deceived them that they would win. Now he has suddenly become a wealthy man at the expense of the poor people. Obi is a billionaire, to correct this impression, even before he went into politics. So shut your mouth. You are the one that is looking to be a millionaire by using Obi to train. Who didn't know where he was headed? The truth is stranger than fictions, they say. Please, don't waste your time, my brother, for the Lord sees not as a man sees. Man looks on the outward appearance, but the Lord looks on the heart. Then tell us whose heart is more better than others in this concept. He further stated, it is left for whoever is there as president to prove some of us right or wrong. Time will tell. They are all corrupt politicians. What we want is why you are there stealing the money. Remember the citizens and let them taste the national cake. The money belongs to the citizens of Nigeria. At least, nothing stops you from transforming the country and protecting the rights and dignity of individual Nigerians. According to Pastor of the Second Coming Church of God, we will make Anambra farmers employers of labor. Charles Soludo Mbafo. The governor or the government of Anambra State, Governor of Anambra State, Professor Chukwuma Charles Soludo Mbafo, has said that his administration is aiming to make farmers to the state employers of labor. Soludo said this will be achieved through purposeful support for farmers in the state, both through loans and the presentation of modern farm equipment that will aid their work and increase their yield. The governor, who was represented by his deputy, Dr. Onyeka Ibezim, stated this at the weekend during the flag off of the 2023 farming season in Oka, the state capital. According to Soludo, addressing farmers in the state after the presentation of agricultural enhancement equipment estimated at 21 million naira, which was made possible by the Adane Omo Zonal Staple Cross Processing Implementation Unit of Agricultural Transformation Agenda Support Program Phase 1. The deputy governor said, I have confidence that the equipment presented to you today will turn the beneficiaries into employees of labor and major contributors to the food supply in the state and the country at large. When you are providing all this, make sure you also provide security for them, because if there is insecurity, there is no anyhow they will go to their farmland and return back or return home alive. So make sure that there is security of property and lives are being secured in that state. The multiplier effort of this empowerment is what the government of Prof. Chukwuma Soludo has been talking about. We advise you to make good use of these equipments. Beneficiaries of the equipment are 5 farmers, cooperative groups drawn from various communities in the state. The equipment included a mobile thresher, rubber mill, rice destoner, dryer machines, handheld planter, cassava grater, knapsack sprayer, and hammer mill. The commissioner for the agriculture, Dr. Foster Ihejiofor, explained that the equipment was provided with loans from the African Development Bank, which could be paid back by the federal and state governments over time. ATASP, one Adane Omo Zonal Program Coordinator, Romanus Eba, disclosed that the 13 beneficiary farmer groups were selected based on needs assessment, according to the news we have here. You don't have to bring down the military to be involved in Tinubu government. APC lawmakers fires ASARI DOKUBO. Even the APC have rejected ASARI DOKUBO and his aid statement concerning the military and also other parastatals in the government house and also in the country. Honorable Philip Abase, who represents Ado Okuku Obadipo Federal Constituency in the House of Representatives, has slammed former Niger Delta militant leader ASARI DOKUBO for accusing the military of partaking in oil theft in the south region of the country. DOKUBO, speaking to the State House correspondent after a meeting with President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, had accused the military of being behind oil theft in the Niger Delta region. The Army and the Navy intimidated the civil defense, who are by status the people who are supposed to guard these pipelines, he said. Reacting in a statement on Sunday, Abase asked the former militant leader to stop denigrating the military. The All Progressive Congress lawmaker described DOKUBO's statement as uncharitable and unpatriotic. Abase said DOKUBO is attempting to bring down the military and make militancy popular in the eyes of the people. He said, "I appreciate DOKUBO, who is my good friend, for his unequivocal stance on a lot of issues, but I think he missed the point on this particular subject." Okay, he missed it on this particular subject, but the one he said about Martin Namdekan is correct, right? No good, now he go kill all of honor. Our officers are not in any way complicit, even though much can still be achieved in the areas of protecting our national assets in the Niger Delta. DOKUBO simply wants to be involved, which is his right. We must, however, not destroy the reputation of others to get what we want, and that's the truth. The sacrifices of our military officers and men who make all the sacrifices to keep the country together should not be taken for granted. If there are lapses, we expect DOKUBO as an elder statesman to provide relevant information and support to the troops. Who is an elder statesman and who make him an elder statesman? A criminal, for that matter, a saboteur and a backstabber. You call him an elder statesman. I shake my head. I weep for those people that is a real elder statesman in our country. We have gone past the era of militancy. If that is what DOKUBO is clamoring about, I am sorry, it is not an option, according to him. Our military has shown to be equal to the task on so many occasions. How God saved me from plane crash. My wife of cancer during presidential election. Ex-Governor Nyesom Wike laments. Former governor of Rivers State, Nyesom Wike, has disclosed that God saved him from a plane crash during the presidential election. This was as Wike disclosed that God saved his wife from cancer during the 2023 presidential election as well. On getting the cancer diagnosis from his wife, Wike said he informed the leaders on his campaign team, including the G5 governors, that there was a problem and he was planning to quit the race. The former governor said his wife encouraged him to continue with his campaign despite the diagnosis. He described this during a special Thanksgiving service organized by his family at the St. Peter's Deanery, Rumopurikom, Obiakpo area of the state. On Sunday, Wike also disclosed that a mysterious fire got in his wife's room and destroyed her things while he was on campaign trip. According to Wike, being a strong woman, my wife never showed it, but today my wife is healthy and hearty. The cancer incident was the one I knew that God had done all for me. On the plane crash, Wike said while they were traveling to Abuja after the presidential primary, one of the engines of the aircraft exploded 15 minutes after takeoff. 15 minutes after takeoff at the Air Force Base, we had an explosion. They locked up the cockpit. One engine is gone, and the pilot said it was safer to turn back to Port Harcourt. Before we landed, there were many ambulances and fire services trucks lined up. We landed safely by the grace of God. I didn't tell anybody, he said. The former governor said he kept most of the incidents secret to avoid frightening his supporters who could begin to behave anyhow. Who cares? You are waiting for primaries when you don't even get a single vote. Okay, you are the second. Oh, wow. Imo, unknown gunmen don't attack Okorocha and police officer killed. Police officers are always at the helm of the affairs. These are the youth that you people refuse to employ. These are the monsters you people create in different states, all in the name of equipping your thugs for elections. Now those youths are turned back to hunt all of you. I'm very, very happy that they attack you, but I'm not happy that the policeman lost his life because you people refuse to do the needful. As a governor for 8 years, what can youths in the Imo state come out and boast for? Nothing. Only coming out in the morning, ask them whether they don't chop breakfast. That is what the only thing you achieved. Iberiberism and Mumulism, all in Imo state. Well, only God will reward all of us. Everyone, I'm very happy that this thing is happening. One is on a head, whether it is political or not political, but that is the thought. If the youths have work, if the youths are employed, if you call them for anything illegality, they will tell you no. But simply because there's no job, all of them are resorted to kidnapping and stealing. Not that I'm encouraging kidnapping or I'm encouraging stealing, but let the need be done. Okay? You people should do what is got to do to get works and employment for the youths. Most of our youths graduated with first class, whether upper or lower, but there's no work. You find out that illiterates are the one collecting salaries, even having a ghost workers in offices, whereby we have a lot of people who are supposed to be employed, but they are not employed, simply because of the high corruption in government houses or government offices. Well, only our ancestors will see us through. Some unknown government attacked the convoy of Imo West Senator Rochas Okoroncha. Okorausa convoy was attacked at the Ihube community on the Okigwe Enugu Expressway on Friday, leaving one policeman dead. Always policemen. The former Imo State governor was on a road to the burial ceremony of former Imo governor Ihedo Hakim when he was attacked. He disclosed this on Sunday at Amaimo in Ikedu, the local government area of the state. Okocha said it was after he had finished attending the funeral ceremony at Mbise and the convoy had dropped him at his split-back mansion in Owerri and was heading back to Enugu that they were attacked. Oh, you're not even at the convoy. According to Okorocha, I am angry. I'm very angry. I am angry because I spent 2 days in Enugu and nothing happened to me. But it is in my own state that my convoy released to me by the governor of Enugu State, a very good man,